Obviously, we're delighted with the quarter, which is really start of the ongoing proof of the hard work of our ambitious transformation program over the last 4 years is working. We're firing on all cylinders. As you say, double-digit growth in pharma and vaccines, 24% growth in our new and specialty medicines, which is proof that that pipeline is bearing fruit, and a real acceleration of consumer healthcare growth too. So we've upgraded our guidance for this year, making a lot of progress in strengthening R&D in our pipeline, looking forward to lots of key readouts over the year ahead, and really setting up for a step change in growth from next year for GSK, and then critically very much on track for the demerger of a world-class consumer healthcare business next summer.
You obviously have a lot of people in it for the dividend. And there are many people concerned that perhaps after the demerger, that hefty dividend will not be there for them. I take it from the things that I'm hearing this morning, I should not be as concerned.
Well, actually, Jim, you may have seen in our capital markets update in the summer, we were explicitly extremely clear around what the distribution for GSK would be both this year and in 22 and 23, actually, because 22 we expect to be a hybrid year, and we've been public about the dividend distributions for expected range for consumer too. So I think we've removed any ambiguity on that. What's really important is we're looking forwards to a future for new GSK from 2022, which is all about delivering a step change in growth. We've committed over the 5-year outlook to more than 5% top line, more than 10% bottom line, and all of that really starting in 2022. So it's been great to have this marker of this quarter to start to show the momentum coming through.
Now, earlier you mentioned vaccines. I know that the vaccine for COVID has not been what you're doing, but you do have a giant Shingrix franchise that I believe people... I feel it's been undermarketed. Is there any way that can accelerate?
Well, first of all, we did sell more than £500 million of Shingrix this quarter. Clearly, in 2021, that business has been hit by particularly the Delta variant, and as COVID mass vaccinations rightly have been prioritised, but those are definitely sales that are deferred, not lost. We're very much on the recovery track when we look at the momentum coming through. And by the way, we've also been able to upgrade our guidance overall despite this short-term hit to Shingrix. And really importantly, exactly as you say, Jim, shingles hits 1 in 3 of us. It is an extremely painful and debilitating disease. We expect strong double-digit growth for this franchise in 2022, potentially to deliver annual record sales, much more global geographic expansion because we are unconstrained in supply, and very confident that we'll double Shingrix revenues by 2026.
Now, I am very excited about what you're working on, monoclonal antibody for COVID. Now, Merck already has something out there. Is yours with a 79% reduction in hospitalizations comparable to what Merck has got?
Well, look, we're delighted to be making a significant contribution to COVID solutions with this antibody treatment, Xevudy. And, we upgraded our guidance, our foundational guidance today, but also announced that we now expect, on top of that, another 7 to 9% EPS from these COVID solutions. Xevudy is shown to reduce hospitalization and death by 79%. And although we've had all these triumphs in vaccine science and technology, people are still being infected. So this definitely matters. It has a contribution to make. It is shown to be able to maintain this activity against circulating variants of concern like Delta. We're really delighted to be able to have this impact for what is an ongoing situation around the world.
All right, so one last question. You've got this terrific franchise in cancer, Tesaro, now starting to pay off, it appears. And you also have this work with 23andMe. I had 23andMe on Mad Money. It's a treasure trove. Can you marry those two to be able to do some targeted or predictive work, particularly, by the way, on breast cancer, which is just ravaging around the world, particularly in America? How are the two going to play out, 23andMe and your cancer franchise?
Well, two distinct questions, but they can be linked. I think, First of all, we are in a golden age of biology and technology, and the predictive power of genetics, functional genomics, added with the technology power of AI and machine learning, should allow us to get much, much more productive as a sector, frankly. And GSK is really seeking to lead the way here in terms of the success rate of our medicines and drugs. 90% of things fail. Being much more predictive on the quality of the targets that we identify for new medicines is what we can bring with all our 23andMe work, and we're delighted. We've just recently, identified and putting into the clinic one of the first assets from that partnership, and I've seen an aggressive multiplication of the number of targets that we can bring forward for our future pipeline. So it's pretty foundational to our strategy around genetics.